In 1861, America faced a crisis that would change the nation forever. The country was divided between the Union in the north and the Confederacy in the south.
At the heart of the conflict was slavery, a brutal system rooted in Southern agriculture. The North was more industrial, with factories, railroads, and growing cities shaping its economy. Political arguments over slavery's expansion into new territories pushed tensions to a breaking point. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected president, promising to stop slavery from spreading westward. Southern leaders feared Lincoln's policies would weaken their power and threaten their way of life. South Carolina became the first state to secede, soon followed by 10 more southern states. These states formed the Confederate States of America and chose Jefferson Davis as their president.
Tension exploded in April 1861 at Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, South Carolina. Confederate cannons opened fire, and the Civil War officially began with thunderous explosions. President Lincoln called for volunteers to preserve the Union and defend the United States. Thousands of Northern men rushed to join the Union Army, believing the war would be short.
In the South, volunteers also joined eagerly, ready to fight for their new Confederacy.
The first major battle at Bull Run shocked everyone with a chaos and heavy casualties.
Families waited anxiously for news, realizing this war would be long and devastating.
Union General Ulysses S. Grant emerged as a determined leader who refused to retreat.
The Confederacy relied on Robert E. Lee, a brilliant commander admired by his troops.
At Antietam, the bloodiest single day in American history left over 20,000 casualties.
After Antietam, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, changing the war's purpose forever. The proclamation declared enslaved people in Confederate states would be forever free. It also allowed black men to join the Union Army and fight for freedom.
The Union Navy blockaded southern ports, cutting off supplies and weakening the Confederate economy. Northern railroads moved troops and resources quickly, giving the Union a major advantage.
In 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg became a turning point in the war.
Lee's army suffered huge losses during Pickett's charge and was forced to retreat.
Lincoln honored the fallen at Gettysburg, reminding Americans that democracy must not perish.
That same year, Union forces captured Vicksburg, gaining control of the Mississippi River.
This victory split the Confederacy in half and crippled its ability to move supplies.
Winters were brutal, with cold, hunger, and disease killing more soldiers than bullets. Nurses like Clara Barton helped care for the wounded, improving battlefield medical care.
Women supported the war effort by running farms, working jobs, and organizing supplies.
Lincoln constantly balanced military strategy with politics, trying to hold the Union together. Even during war, Americans voted in 1864, and Lincoln was re-elected as president. General William Tecumseh Sherman captured Atlanta, boosting Northern morale and damaging Southern industry.
Sherman's march to the sea destroyed railroads and supplies, breaking the Confederacy's ability to fight.
Southern cities and towns suffered deeply as the war reached homes and communities.
Grant pressed Lee relentlessly in Virginia,
knowing the Union had more men and supplies.
The fighting turned into a grinding war of attrition with terrible human cost.
Lincoln often visited soldiers, offering encouragement and reminding them what they were fighting for. By 1865, the Confederate capital of Richmond was nearly surrounded by Union forces. Leah's army was starving, exhausted, and running out of options as Union troops closed in. In April 1865, Lee surrendered to Grant at Appomattox Courthouse, ending major fighting. Grant offered generous surrender terms, allowing Confederate soldiers to return home peacefully. After 4 brutal years, the Civil War was finally over, but the nation was wounded.
Northern cities celebrated victory, but many families still mourned lost loved ones.
Millions of enslaved people were now free, beginning a long and difficult journey toward equality. Lincoln looked forward to healing the nation and rebuilding the southern states. Tragically, just days later, Lincoln was assassinated while attending a play in Washington.
The nation mourned deeply, losing the president who guided them through their darkest hour.
Vice President Andrew Johnson became president and faced the enormous challenge of Reconstruction.
Reconstruction aimed to rebuild the South and bring formerly enslaved people into American society.
New constitutional amendments ended slavery and promised citizenship and voting rights to Black Americans.
Schools and aid organizations helped formerly enslaved families build new lives after freedom.
However, resistance and racism made Reconstruction a difficult and often dangerous process.
Despite struggles, the Union was preserved, and the United States remained one nation. Over 600,000 soldiers died, making it America's deadliest war ever fought. Abraham Lincoln became one of the most remembered presidents for leading during this crisis. The Civil War reshaped the nation, proving that the United States would endure.
Its legacy still shapes conversations about freedom, equality, and the meaning of America today.
The war tested the nation's ideals and forced Americans to redefine liberty.
Today, students learn how leadership and courage helped guide the country through division.
Lincoln's belief in unity and freedom continues to inspire generations of Americans. From battlefields to new beginnings, the Civil War forever changed the United States.
And from that struggle, a stronger, more united nation slowly began to rise.